Morning. So we are getting after it, going to the gym like I said we would. So this is the third workout of the week. My third workout of the week is always not the hardest. It's more of like an upper body day, working on shoulders and stuff like that. I always like to get the hard things done first, which are my squats and deadlifts. So we'll be getting that in. I got my thermos here full of tea. And I was thinking about this, and I'm just kind of curious about what you're thinking or how you react to it. But I've been on this like tea kick for over a year now. So I used to drink coffee all the time. And this is something that's obviously more personal to me. I'm extremely sensitive to stimulants, caffeine. I've always kind of been that way. And I made the pivot to tea over the last year, and I found that even though it's not as strong, I get enough of a boost to feel like I'm focused without it impacting my sleep. That was something I really struggled with coffee, is if I drank coffee, even in the morning, it still stayed in my system. And then what I found was, because I wasn't sleeping well, then I would need more the next day. And it just kind of kept compounding to like the end of the week. I was drinking like sometimes 3 or 4 cups of coffee, and I'm like, this isn't good. So I made the switch to tea, and sometimes it's like I miss that coffee taste. But I just found that I don't really need it. Like, I don't need it the way I thought I needed it. But it took me probably like a month to get out of that like coffee withdrawal. It really took a while. But I feel good now. And I need some caffeine, and I know tea's not perfect. They both have caffeine. But I did some research, and it looks like it's about maybe half the amount. So like I said, it's just enough for me to get focused, feel good, and be productive. So I'm just kind of curious if you've had issues with coffee as well. I used to deal with other issues with coffee too, is when my stomach would hurt. Like, I would have a lot of stomach pain after drinking coffee. I now realize I have to really, eat something in the morning. But even with that, I still had some issues. But, feeling much better. So, tea gang. So we're going to, like I said, go to the gym today. After that, I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to get some food so we can start cooking some different meal prep options to show you. Give you some different recipes. I know someone asked for that, so I'm going to share that with you. And if there's anything else you want to see from me in the next couple videos, let me know. But if not, I'll see you at the gym. So always ending with core, we're going to do the cable rotation. This is one of my favorite exercises because I used to just do a lot of flexion core exercise. That means doing like sit-ups and things like that and leg raises. And while those are very important, you should be doing those. It's also important to work all the other muscles in your core. So whether you're doing some weighted carries or weighted rotations like I'm about to do, your core has to move in all different dimensions. It just doesn't go, forward and back. So working these type of movements not only will help you look good, but it will also be very good at preventing injury and improving athleticism. So I'm just going to do about 10 to 12 reps each side at like a medium, not like crazy heavy weight. And we're going to burn out on one side, because like whenever you work your core, you always want to go till as close as you can to failure. And then the other thing about this too is what I really like is you can do different levels. So like obviously I have it in the middle, but I mean you can bring it up to the top or bring it down. So whether you could do it's like a chopping motion to get different areas of your core. So we're just going to do a few reps here just to kind of show you as an example. And again, if you're not incorporating this type of core movement into your training, I highly recommend it.
So another way to make this exercise harder without just going up and up in weight is when you bring your legs a little closer together, it challenges your stability, right? So if your legs are really wide apart, it's easier to get that rotation. Legs are close together, it's gonna be much harder. You really wanna make sure that you're using your core to drive you through. Yes, it will use a little bit of arms, but obviously we don't wanna just muscle it with our arms. It's really your core that's driving the rotation that we wanna focus on. So give those a shot. I'm getting ready for my meal prep video, and I just want to show you some behind the scenes before we get into it. So I got my salmon here. Look how nice and red that looks. So we're gonna dice that up, and then I have all my other ingredients prepped and ready to go. We're gonna be putting it into these little bowls here. So, you know, the easiest way to probably do this is just kind of like get my materials ready, get my salmon cooked, and then I'll show you again some kind of like scenes as it's getting ready and then once it's done. So hang tight, coming soon, and I think you're gonna like the way this looks. All right, so we finished up the meal prep. So this is what I have here. So it's kind of hard to see this far away, but we have some quinoa in here, salmon, and then I really did like my own sort of sauce, which was all extra virgin olive oil, some of this red wine and vinegar, and then we added a bunch of different seasonings like oregano and you know, chopped up our own garlic and things like that. And obviously there's also, as you can see, some cucumbers in here too, and some black beans. So what we really did was we started with like the oils first, the seasonings, then we added the vegetables, then the grains, and then lastly was the salmon. So the reason for that is for like meal prep and things like that, you don't wanna mix it up. So once it's already set, you have it in these nice little containers here, right? So the oil's on the bottom, you know, all of like the grains and stuff and the proteins at the top. So once you're ready to eat it, what you do is you just wanna shake it up. So that's gonna kind of like mix in all the oils and get all that seasoning in there. And obviously you don't want your food getting soggy either. So that's what I've made. And I typically, what I do is for meal prep is I only prep usually like a day in advance, just because I typically, especially for fish too, if I prep too far out, it just, you know, I don't like the taste. And I think that's really important. Like whatever you prep, you gotta like what you eat, right? And if it's too far out and it's not tasting right, I'm not really a fan of that. So what I like to do is like I'll eat part of this for dinner and then I'll have my lunch ready and I know what I'm eating and it's good. So you just shake it up and enjoy. So if you have any other questions or like type of recipes that you want to learn more about, just like let me know in the comments. I'm trying to make a lot more because I think that the easier we make nutrition, or maybe some inspiration and things like that you can do that of meals that don't take too long to make, the easier it is going to be with your health and fitness journey. Because as we talked about before, nutrition is number one, right? You know, it's really hard to outwork a bad diet, and a lot of people kind of know what to eat, but it's just their pre-planning, which is the hard part. So if you can do this, like it shouldn't take longer than, you know, 25 minutes to make tops, and then you have lunch the next day too. So you're saving money and I think it tastes better. So give this recipe a shot. I'm also gonna put this on my Instagram, so you'll see it all kind of like, you know, put together, or YouTube short, and you can try it out and let me